coming through sometime soon. I haven't got my YouTube on, I'm just doing this through StreamYard, so live, grand. Okay. Hi guys, how you doing? I was going to be doing something a bit different tonight. I'll tell you the backstory of it anyway. Hi, Cuz. Who else is in? Leona, Clive, Nick, yourself. Stacey's in, I know that. Dave's just popped up. Hi, Dave. Right, Maker Central. We're going back a few months. Maker Central. We're in the bar. Unusual for us being in the bar. Anyway, we're in the bar, and it's the Hilton, and the prices are extortionate. So I've got a bottle of wine in a water bottle, as you do. And anyway, I finished that one. So I had to go back up to the room and top up my water bottle with me red. Came back down, and there's Leona. She's finally turned up. She's been hiding in her room because she's a bit on the nervous side, Leona is. Anyway, I get this package off Leona, open it up, and here's this absolutely gorgeous mirror, all mounted and everything, which was absolutely brilliant. I was nearly in tears with it. She acted, not just for me, she did this for quite a few other people. Don't remember everybody who she did it for, but it was a really nice surprise. Everybody else is handing out stickers and things like this, and badges and coins and things like this. No, Leona's gone one step further. She's done etched mirrors for everybody with their logos on. Now, the problem with that was my logo is one of my water drop bowls with just Wayne the woodturner over the top of it. So you can't really do a very good etching of that. So what she'd actually done, she'd got in touch with Dave the wood barber. I always thought he was a mate of mine, Dave, but obviously he wasn't. Anyway, she got in touch with Dave the wood barber, and he gave us a call up one night. We were having a chat, and just having a generalised chat, and he was asking what I did in the army, who I was with, and everything like this, when I joined, when I left, and everything. So I told him I was in the REME, which is the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Joined in 74, left in 86. So wouldn't you know what Leona went and did? She went and sourced an image of the REME cap badge, which is here, if you can see that. And if either the beard is in or if Cheryl's in, no, it is not a unicorn. It's a prancing horse. Okay, so Leona went ahead and etched that. She put me start date in, she put me finish date in, and everything like that, and it was absolutely brilliant. Now, the real annoying thing with working with wood is when you get it home and you get it in the house, it acclimatizes itself, so it moves. And this just didn't happen with me. It happened with quite a few other people, and the mirrors ended up cracking. So Leona being Leona, she did a load of other mirrors for people and sent them out. Mine's been sitting for months now, and that's what I was going to do tonight. I was going to mount the mirror on a nice background, and I was just going to use silicone to mount the mirror because silicone moves, and the piece of wood I've got is very, very dry anyway. Anyway, I was in the workshop this afternoon getting all set up for tonight, and I give the mirror a clean and everything, put it down, and wouldn't you know, it ended up on the floor and broke. Yeah, I was well chuffed. It's nice and warm in the workshop. The air was absolutely blue. So that's that idea gone out the window. Leona does know about it. I let her know about it earlier on. So we're not doing that tonight now. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm still going to use the piece of wood that I was going to use for the surround. The mirrors that Leona did were 10-inch in diameter. So I've got a nice big piece of elm on here with some burr in, which is nearly 16 inch in diameter, and it's about 2 inches deep. So we're just going to do a platter. That's what we're going to do tonight. There won't be, because of the wood, because of the grain, there's not going to be any colouring. There's not going to be any embellishing waxes. It's just going to be a nice, fairly big platter. Oh yeah, there'll be loads of Yorkshire grit going on there, but no embellishing waxes, no stains, no paint, nothing like that. I've already got it rounded, so I'll just move the tool rest so I can get it, the bottom squared up. And I'll alter the camera so you'll be going for a wee wander. See if I can get that as central as possible. Yeah, that looks absolutely grand. Right then, stick any questions in that you like as I'm going along. I've got Dale in me ear tonight, so he'll pass any questions along. If you want us to stop and have a chat about something, that's fine. Turning speed, you might think it's a wee bit on the high side. I think it's a wee bit on the high side, but we're turning at about 950 on this at the moment. So here we go. And I'm just going to straighten off the bottom. I just give you the tribute, Leona. What more do you want? Oh, and by the way, Leona has said that she's going to send us another mirror out. I don't know if that's wise or not, but thank you. Just had a thought. I think everybody who just come in, sorry. Hi, Doug. Just had a thought. I think everybody who does a live should employ JP to come round as a catcher. Just in case. Yeah, it's the bottom cleaned off. There's a little bit I've missed there, but that'll get turned out once I start shaping the bowl. Right. Let's see what size I'm on. Oh, thanks, Leona. Right, that's at about 15.5 inches. So if we call it 15, I'm going to make the base of it around about 5 inches. So I'll divide it sort of into 3. The thing we're doing platters of this sort of size. Hi, Glenn. That's 5. That's 5. Yeah, they're all about equal. The thing that we're doing platters of this size is that you really need to have a fairly decent sized base on it, so whenever you put anything in, it doesn't start wobbling about. Now, I've just gone in a little bit there for it, something for it to stand on, and now I'm going to put the mortise in. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame, Dave. I was hoping you were going to be here. Now, this isn't a very thick piece of wood, so I'm not actually going to make the mortise that deep. Hi, Ian. And another quick tip on mortise sizes as well. Now, I use the C jaws on the Axminster chuck. And when you're using a mortise, they go from 65mm all the way through to, I think it's about 87. But, let's see if I can get this. When you're looking at the mortise size, you need to be as close to circular as possible. So on a 65mm set of jaws, the best size to get is around about 67mm, which is probably what I've got there. Once you start getting wider, once you start opening the jaws up, you tend to be only holding on the points of the outer rim, which means it's not very secure. Which is why sometimes I go on at Rich, the beard, a wee bit, because he tends to have his mortar size quite big. It doesn't need to be. And if you've got it on the correct size, it doesn't need to be extremely deep either. This is sitting at, just get my calipers out. All right. Hi, Chris. That mortise is sitting at about 5mm deep. So like I say, it doesn't need to be that deep. And when I sand, I'll probably sand some of that away as well. So you don't have to have it extremely deep. As long as it's the correct size, it'll hold. Right, I'm just going to start shaping the bottom now. that's brilliant, Glyn. Excellent. I've got a bit of a nut there, which is why I'm getting a wee bit of chatter sometimes. Some lovely grain in this. Oh, brilliant. Was that the big one, Glyn? Yeah, I can just see that. Yeah, that should have fetched a hell of a lot more than 40 quid, that goblet. Yeah, I can understand that, Glyn. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. The tool's getting very hot. In fact, my thumb's getting burnt. Right, I'm just going to give this gouge just a quick sharpen. It's very dry, this is, and it's blunting the tool a fair bit. A man glitter shelf. It's called a floor dark. Mine's, yeah, the thing is, Nick, mine's always like this. Deal will tell you that. Yeah, I wear Crocs, Nick. That's all I wear. Oh, thank you. Right, I'm just sharpening up my smaller gouge just to give one final finishing cut. Right, let's see if I can do this in the water. There we are, nice final finishing cut. We'll just get rid of that. There we are, that's that got rid of. Right then. Thanks, T. What was I going to say to T? I really like that the finished piece you put up today. From the comments I've made earlier on, I didn't think you had a hope in hell's chance of getting something decent out of that. And I've got to say, I was pleasantly surprised. Right then. Almost. I used to always get picked up. I think I mentioned the deal the other night. I used to do, for the past 15 years of my working life, I was doing training. I worked in the care sector, and I was doing training for new members of staff and existing members of staff in social care. And one of the main things I got picked up for when I was doing training sessions was using the word realistically. That was the main word I used to use all the time, was realistically. Oh, hi, Joe. Right, for those of you who weren't in at the beginning, this was going to be a mirror mount for a mirror that Leona made me at Maker Central. I came out to the workshop this afternoon, I gave the mirror a good clean, and then I dropped it on the floor. So we're not doing the mirror mount now. I'm doing something else. Yeah. The thing about my editing, Doug, is that I'll come out here in the morning, I'll film a video, I'll go in the house, I'll pick various bits to put on time lapse, and that's it. That's the only video, that's the only editing I do. I just can't be arsed with it. Oh, sorry, can't be bothered with it. Glenn, you'll have to make yourself a logo. Oh, you've got one. I forgot. It's Yorkshire Grit, isn't it? Hang on. I'm just emptying my Crocs. No, I'm not going to show dark my feet. It's bad enough being a hand model. Now, usually, if I was just using sand and sealer and going straight onto a finish, I'd knock the sand and sealer back with a Scotch-Brite pad. But obviously, seeing as how I'm going to be using Yorkshire Grit, God, I must get a new tin of Yorkshire Grit, can't see that label anymore. Seeing as how I'm using Yorkshire Grit, I don't need to do that. Right, spread it on liberally while the lid is stationary. And don't be afraid to put lots on. Glyn was up here, oh God, a good few weeks ago now. And Glyn, being the person that he is, even though he's developed the product and he knows how it works, he's always looking at different things and how it can be used better. So we spent some time in the workshop, and I think, like you said earlier on, a bowl that we turned together that he took back home with him just got sold last night in aid of the RSPCA, I believe it was. So what Glyn's actually said, after he's done his research, is turn the speed down. Have the speed at around about 250 and start rubbing the Yorkshire Grit in. Now, he's done various timings on this, and he reckons about 3.5 minutes is the prime time to keep on rubbing the Yorkshire Grit in. I don't know if you can see it properly. You probably can't because of the lights. Right, I'm just trying to see. Which one's the. Is that, no, that's that main light. $500 would have to do then, Nick. That's not that one. No, it's not that one. Is that better? I've still got plenty of light, but there doesn't seem to be as much glare. When you're rubbing it in, as long as you're still getting the slurry from the Yorkshire grit, I know it sounds like a nasty word, but that's one of the ways to describe it. As long as you're still getting that, the abrasive in the grit is still working. Now, if you notice, I'm still using the same piece of paper that I applied the grit with. So I'm making sure it's getting worked in very well. Then after a few minutes of doing this, you can start increasing the speed. You start increasing the speed, you can start getting a cleaner piece of paper. And keep on working it in. Good. Now I can move on to a clean piece of paper. And again, I'm going to increase the speed. So now I'm up at about 750. You can't actually see it very well, but the shine on that is already amazing. Good. Right, so what I'm going to do now, obviously I've got this knot here, and I've got all these burry bits as well. So I'm just going to blow out any of the excess grit that's been in there. You might hear the compressor come on. Because unlike Glyn, I don't have one of these silent compressors. I don't do resin, Doug. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't do resin very often. And for a finish tonight, I'm using microcrystalline wax. The good thing about microcrystalline wax is that once it cures, and it gets buffed up, it's quite resistant to fingerprints, finger marks, things like this. So we'll get that spread up. The knot, Dave, the knot I've already taken out, so it's just a void that's there now. All these burry bits that are here are all very stable. Hiya, Granny. In case anybody's wondering where, especially with the case of me and Dave, where we use uppercase letters whenever we greet each other, this again goes back to Maker Central, when we'd been wondering about doing what we're doing, looking at things, looking at different things. And then we'd go outside and have a fag, and he'd be out there and I'd be out there, and we'd just shout across the courtyard type thing very loudly at each other. And that's basically where it came from. And that's why it happens in the comments. Evening, Dave. That's looking not too shabby. What I'll do, once I've turned it round and got the top finished, I will get in behind and actually use the buffing wheel to get that buffed up. There you go, guys. Well, right, this is an answer to your question, Dark. Where would I sell something like this? I'm a member of a couple of arts and crafts cooperatives, or I call them cooperatives. So I'm in one shop which is up just north of Glasgow. I'm in a seasonal shop in a town called Gatehouse Fleet, which is about 40 miles from me. And I'm also in another shop in another town in my area as well. So I'm in three shops. The seasonal one in Gatehouse is actually closing tomorrow. And I've done particularly well in that shop. It seems every time I go up there, I've got to restock the shelves. So I'm very, very chuffed with that. Very smooth, Glenn. Grand. Hi, JP. You'll be sorry to hear this one isn't a practice piece. Okay. Right, what I do with pricing, the thing to remember with pricing is loads and loads of discussions go on in Facebook and various podcasts about pricing. They did it on Makers International last Sunday. It's a difficult thing to do to price because one of the first things you've got to consider is what area are you selling in? Are you selling in an area where it's going to stand a big price or not? The other thing to consider is being a turner. I'm not talking about other trades or anything, being a turner. How much did the blank cost you in the first place? Now, if anybody was watching the beard last night with that Cocobolo bowl that he turned last night, which I've got to say was absolutely gorgeous, by the way. If anybody was watching that, if anybody could find a piece of Cocobolo that big now, that blank alone would cost well over £100. Then you've got to take into consideration how long does it take you to turn it. Now, for this particular piece here, what are we on? I'm on 25 to 9. I started about 8 o'clock. Realistically, I could have this piece finished in an hour. The blank itself I've had for probably 25, 30 years, so I don't know how much it bloody cost us anyway. For the likes of, if I'm doing demonstrations and things like that, I'll charge around about £25 an hour. That's the same if I'm doing tuition. I'll charge about £25 an hour. So you've got to take that into consideration. You've got to take into consideration your electricity, the wear and tear on your tools, and most importantly, profit. You've got to have profit in there. Now, this particular piece, once it's finished and everything, and once I put it up for sale, this is probably going to go up for sale for around about £150. What that is in dollars, I've got no idea. It'll probably... Cheers, JP. No. It's not enough. But thanks for the effort. Thank you very much, guys. It's much appreciated. Yeah, this will go into one of the shops at around about £150. It'll probably sit for quite a long time, but it will sell. I put a piece in. Somebody had actually left one of the shops, and I was asked to put some big stuff in. So I put a piece of, it was a burr elm. I think it was 18-inch by 7. I stuck a price of £200 on it because I knew it wouldn't sell, and it sold. And I got a right row off Jane because it was hers. These things happen. She even had the cheek to ask for some money. Hello again, Stace. The other thing about doing platters like this as well, remember this edge. Okay, this edge is extremely sharp. You don't want to have sharp things when people are handling them. So make sure when you're sanding anything like this that you sand the edge so it's fairly blunt. The other thing to remember as well is, and I saw this on one of Jimmy Clue's videos. People tend to like, when you're doing anything with a broad rim or anything like this, people tend to like to have it curved down before you actually go in with the bull part. It just makes it more aesthetic, I think the name is. That's a raw paper cut, JP. That's before it's been processed. Right, so I'm just going to do a bit of shaping on this rim. Nice one, JP. Right, I've got the rim how I want it. So the actual bowl size is going to be starting from, well, from here, going in. And it's not going to be very deep. I don't have a lot of wood to work on here. Right, I've got an Etsy store. I don't have a lot of stuff in there. If you're setting up anything like an Etsy store, you've got to be very, very specific as to what it is you're selling. For the likes of pens and things, thousands of people are selling pens on Etsy. You've got to have, oh, what did they used to call it? No, I don't know either. It's gone. It's a business term. Anyway, you've got to have something very specific, something unique, a unique selling point as to selling on Etsy. For the likes of Pam Harris with her pen blanks, she's got the unique selling, but she's got a couple of unique selling points on there. Predominantly, her wood is Scottish. She uses a lot of different resins. And apart from anything else, it's just absolutely gorgeous, which is probably why she sells a hell of a lot of them. Right. That's the thing with working in a cooperative. The shops that I'm in, sorry, in Dumfries and Galloway, in one of the shops, I pay £25 a month rental, if you like. In the other shop, I pay £35 a month. They don't take any cut. Anything I make is mine. The shop up in Mulgai, just north of Glasgow, they just charge £10 a month, but they actually take a third of the selling price, which is something else you've got to take into consideration. If you're putting stuff just into ordinary shops, they are going to ask for a commission. They're either going to do sale or return, or they're going to ask for a commission. And that can be anything 40, 50, sometimes even 60%. So you've got to think, am I going to sell it for that, or am I going to put my price on top of that? Which is what I tend to do, I've got to say. The stuff I sell in the shop up in Mulgai has got a much higher price than the stuff I sell down here, to take into that 30%. Yeah, thanks, Phil. I think I said unique selling point. Right, I'm just putting a small bead in there. Now you might wonder why I've taken this in here and I've left this bulk of wood in here. It's a fairly thin piece of wood, and if I was wanting to work a lot on the outside or make it a very thin platter, what would happen is if I took all of the center out and left the bulk of the wood on the outside, I'd get a hell of a lot of vibration. But seeing as how I've left the bulk in here, it actually cuts down on that vibration. And if I was doing a really thin piece, maybe a lot deeper than this, but a really thin walled piece, leave the bulk in, and once you start thinning right down to however thickness you want to go, get it finished and don't go back to it. Because once you start taking more out of the center, you are going to get that vibration there. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. I'm just using my feeler gauges here to see what sort of depth I've got left. Thank you. You're all hot, Woody. No, Billy is, what did he say earlier on? I think Billy had to go out and do some shopping. So he said he was going to be in late. Funnel. Right, I'm just going to alter the camera. Oh no, I'll do it at the end. I'll do it at the end. Now, we had a chat on the Beards Live last night about the Funnel Club, because I think, is Jen in? No. Jen had been... Hi, Steve. Jen had been doing a bowl and she went through the bottom and became a member of the Funnel Club. Here goes the famous last words. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I'm a lifelong member of the Funnel Club. I've been there. Right, get this sanded up, remembering to do the outside edge. Hi, Edwin. That's the other thing as well. When you're using power sanding, don't go in like that. So you're actually using the top of the sander. Any sort of rough piece of wood, anything like that, it's going to catch the top of the sanding disc and rip it or fling it off. So try as much as you can to be as straight on as you can. That way you're using the full sanding pad. Right, and this has got all the ones that I've got have actually got soft pads on the back, so you do get a bit of flexibility there. That's a good one, Glenn. Yes, especially doing hollow forms and things like that, going through the side. You're always better to make the inside smaller than the outside. Have a look, see how that's looking. Grand. Sorry, Dale. Oh, night, Woody. Hi, Steve. All right. No, I don't know where he is. Cheryl certainly shared the poster I was coming on tonight, so just get the edge of the rim done. That's acrylic sanding sealer I was using there. Thank you. Oh my God, Doug, where? Point it out, it was Doug. Oh, hi, Christine Michael. Didn't see you there. Go on, you Nick. Get some colouring done. Cheers, Doug. We'll turn the speed down again. Okay. If that was the coloured one, Nick, no, you didn't. So do I, the owner. I'm no good at colouring. I just splash it on and see what happens. All right. You can get a decent, Joe, you can get a decent set of airbrushes. I think they do them on eBay. They also do them on Wish. And I think it's a set of 6 airbrushes for around about £80. And you can get a decent airbrush compressor. You've got to wait for them coming in, but you can get a decent airbrush compressor from either Aldi or Lidl. But again, around about £70. Turn the speed up a bit more. Leona, a lot of the time, it does just happen to turn out not that bad. I usually have no idea of what I'm doing before I start. The only time I have an idea of what I'm doing is if I'm doing the string pull, or if I'm doing like the string pull feathers, and that's purely because I've watched how it's done on YouTube art channels. Still needs a bit rubbing off, or rubbing in, I should say. There we are. I'll just again blow that excess out of the burry bits. Yes, it's going on over the top of the sand and sealer. Right, I'll just rub that back in a bit more again. The other thing you've got to watch as well, I use a lot of the Hampshire Sheen products, and certainly with Hampshire Sheen High Gloss. If you use Hampshire Sheen High Gloss over the likes of these burry bits here, and it gets into all the voids and everything, if you don't clean it out properly, what's going to happen is it actually turns white when it dries. So you've got to be very careful with that, which is why on the likes of burrs and things like this, I tend to use the microcrystalline wax. Yeah, I use Danish oil quite a lot, David. Got a flimsy piece of paper in there now. It just so happens though that I don't have any Danish oil at the moment. I've run out. I tend to tell you the truth, David. I tend to use more lemon oil than Danish oil. Yeah. Nice one, Doc. Yeah, sand and sealer first, then Yorkshire grit. If you forget to put sand and sealer on, just put another coat of Yorkshire grit on over the top of the first coat and rub that in. So what sand and sealer... Sand and sealer actually tightens the grain down. That's what it makes. It makes the grain stand up, so it's easier to sand. That's what sand and sealer does. Right, guys. Go on. Right. I was going to say I'm going to take this off, but I'm not. I'm going to give it a quick buff with the buffing wheel, if I can find it. I don't personally, David. I tend to use, like I say, I'll use Danish oil. I'll use lemon oil. I do have some fruit safe finish, which is a clear oil. So that's what I tend to use. Right, going to give this a quick buff. Hey, Claire. Right. Oh, very good. Something I haven't thought about trying. Right, that's it. Complete. No, I don't like it. No, it's not looking that good. Anyway, I'll show you and see what you think. There you go. And that's the bottom. No, that was me being facetious, deal. So there you go, guys. Yeah, people obviously don't understand my sense of humour. Right then, what I'll do, I'll come and have a sit down, have a fag, have a bit of a chat, change the camera. Just bear with me a couple of minutes till I get all this done. Oh, I've left the bloody top off my backy tin. It's full of shavings. I don't suppose I'll notice the difference. Right, here I are. Here I are. Just adjust the camera. Was the feed okay tonight? I didn't have it on high resolution last week. It was just on 480 last week. So I know Glyn commented last week that the video wasn't that good, and that's what it was. I didn't have the settings set up properly, but that's just me. Grand. Thanks, T. Night night. Right, no bother. Right. Bear with us a minute, guys. I'm just going to turn the phone off. Oh. There we go. Here we are. Oh, that's good, Glenn. Only buffered once. Grand. There you go, Doc. Hi, Dave. Yeah, cheers, Steve. I needed that. I cleaned it fine. The mirror was fine. It fell okay as well. It was fine when it was going down. Just when it hit the concrete, for some reason, it decided to break. Right, Nick, which way up do you want it to see the face? Oh, I'm not holding this up all night. Yeah, you probably could, Leona. This will be the third one if you're going to do another one. And thank you. Right, Glenn, I'll message you to remind you on. Do I need a pass to get in the door? What was I going to say? Yeah, 2 weeks on Friday. It's the Harrogate show. If you go and pop along and say hello, I'll be on stand 68B with Glenn and Joe, selling Yorkshire grit, or I'll be demonstrating. I'll not be selling. I'll be demonstrating it. All right, Glenn, no bother. I'll not touch the next one, Leona. I'll let Jane do that. No bother, Nick. I'll see you there, Ian, on the Friday. You could, Dave, but I don't think you'd be able to afford it unless you've won the pools or something. I'm not putting it up for sale on Marketplace or anything like that. If anyone is interested, drop me a PM. I mentioned the carpentry store to you a couple of months ago, Leon, and you said it was crap. It make a central nick. I demonstrated quite a lot of the Sunday in make a central, and I think I only had one person that didn't buy anything after they'd seen the demonstration. Night, cuz. Right, I think that's us for the night. Bit of a shame about the mirror, but these things happen. It probably was Dave I, tight-fisted. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. We had the chat last night about the Funnel Club, and I said I've got the T-shirt. There we are, Funnel Club T-shirt, life member. I'm still waiting for stuff coming in, David. I think there's quite a few people that are actually bringing stuff along to the Harrogate show, so I'll be collecting stuff from there. I know I don't think Leona will be sending stuff across to me. Nick's done some grapes. Leona's done some grapes. She's also done some potatoes. Wayne Bigfoot, I think, is going to be dropping stuff off at Harrogate. Or should that have been potatoes? Is that how you say it, Steve? Potatoes. Oh, carrot from Stacey. Right, guys. As per usual, I've got a lonely little bottle of red, which has been screaming on me all night. So I'm going to... Leona's sending fruit out to me after the carpentry show. All right. Also, she's going to be collecting stuff at that show as well. And... Right. I'm going to go and have a glass of wine before I have my tea, because I don't tend to eat anything before I come out here. So I'll be having my tea after. I'll try and get a video done at the weekend, but if I don't, I'll be here next Wednesday, and I'll not be doing another mirror. I'll have a think about what I'm going to do next week. Right. Night all. Thanks for coming in. I think Dale said we had over 50 in tonight. That was brilliant. So I'll see you next week. Bye for now.